Hi guys, today I'm here to present to you artificial intelligence and the future of work in the US, and my name is Wyko Salvador. First, we're gonna get into a little bit of the background. So, what is AI? AI is machine learning, and machine learning falls under four different categories, and those four different categories all coincide with each other. First is understanding data. Machines need to understand the data that they are given so that they are able to use it efficiently. And here, they use the data to do it in a way so that they can predict events. And from predicting events, they'll be able to make decisions while using that data. And then finally, they'll be able to make causal inferences. And causal inferences aren't like a prediction because they're actually using previous things to figure out what might happen in the future. So they're like weighing out what might happen in the future. So it's different. Next, AI is able to process data at an unthinkable rate faster than humans can. And the next is that while using that data, while like processing all of that information, like how we are, because our brains process information, they are able to think of solutions that we might not be able to think of. So AI is able to think by themselves. Is able to correct their mistakes. It's basically a human with more thinking capacity. So why do people develop and use artificial intelligence? So for one, it benefits increases to productivity, meaning that they do not need to rest, they do not need to eat, they do not need to sleep. So when they are needed to work, they will work for you. And next is that they will efficiently solve problems. By giving them the data that they need, they are able to use that data to input it into their equations and solve the problems that we may not even be able to solve at faster rates. And next, it will lead me to, we're going to skip over eliminating human mistakes for now, but it'll lead me to producing solutions. If, because of all that processing power, because of all that data in their head, they're able to produce solutions that we cannot even think of possible. So, for example, they could help people with in the medical field. They could um they could find breast cancer in women patients earlier at an earlier stage rather than at a later stage, and it can also confirm that they have breast cancer. And next, of course, it is a machine and it eliminates human mistakes, and for example, that'd be car crashes. Now please click this again, and hopefully the video that I embedded here.
One of the main limitations of being human is simply our own bodies and brains. In the future, we'll be able to augment ourselves with computers and enhance many of our own natural abilities. Though many of these possible cyborg enhancements would be added for convenience, others might serve a more practical purpose. AI will become useful for people with amputated limbs, as the brain will be able to communicate with robotic limbs to give the patient more control. This kind of cyborg technology would significantly reduce the limitations that amputees deal with on a daily basis.
So with all these benefits, what is the problem? So here we run into the problem of AI taking over people's jobs. So first, I would like to introduce Kai-Fu Lee. Kai-Fu Lee is a business entrepreneur who focuses in more of the implementation of AI, and he has invested a lot of money and is very knowledgeable about this stuff. And he says that, quote, I believe that about 50% of jobs will be somewhat or extremely threatened by AI in the next 15 years or so. That statistic is freaking crazy. 50% of all our jobs are going to be somewhat threatened by AI or potentially replaced. Think about that. That could lead to serious economic problems. Next is the risk of further inequality that can happen because of the implementation of AI. So here, if you look at the graph, so changes since 1979, we can see that productivity also is, as productivity is going up, the inequality between the average overall wage of a normal worker compared to the top 1% is gradually increasing. And that's not included with AI. But if AI is included, that red line will skyrocket up. Now next, on this next slide, I will present to you my thesis. So my thesis is the increased developments of artificial intelligence is threatening the jobs of workers in all classes. The government should implement policies that will help with unemployment, such as an unconditional universal basic income, and institutionalize a different system for higher education. Next, first, I have my first solution, and that is presenting an unconditional universal basic income. So in short, this is a UUBI. And so what is a UUBI? Basically, it is providing people with a basic income for everyone. So they'll be given an income no matter what they do, even if they're unemployed. So first, why would we need to set this up for people? Because it's a base setting line so that it protects people from going into poverty or losing their homes because of their loss of jobs. This allows people for then some freedom to like re-educate themselves instead of like trying to get another job that may be less like demeaning. So first, how do we set up a UUBI? So a UUBI would be set up by looking at a person's consumer price index, and the consumer price index is basically a review of what certain basic needs cost for a single human being. And so the graph either here or here, if you look at it, it shows like the amount of value that is given to each certain aspect of what they need. Now, of course, like special things would be given to special individuals if they have like special needs. And so, how will we fund the UUBI? And that is we will be removing social services, and by removing the social services, we will be transferring the taxpayer money that goes into those services into the UUBI, and this allows for a better or more regulated, a more accessible way for people to gain money and to be able to support their own lives. Now, of course, there will be going to be exceptions to special ed people who need more money, who need more support. For my second solution, I'll be instituting a new system of education. And so this new system of education, it has a focus on higher cognitive skills, social and emotional skills, and technological skills. And basically, I want to implement this new system of education because it helps people prepare for the AI revolution, so having the skills to survive in that kind of environment. And basically, if they are replaced by AI, people are able to restart their careers. So there are three main things that you get from Wilson. And so these are trainers, explainers, and sustainers. Trainers basically train the AI to interact with the human beings, train them to be more human, train them to be basically give them the data so that they are able to perform efficiently. Next, we have explainers, and these explainers explain to the boss or the CEO how this AI works, how it can be used, and how it can be implemented in the field. And next, we have sustainers. Basically, these are the people who are the magicians of how to work this AI, how to fix it, how to make it work, how to basically perform maintenance on it. It's basically the engineer. So on this side, I'm gonna be tackling on the golden age argument with disenhancement. So first, what is the golden age argument? So the golden age argument is essentially how AI is going to reach humanity to next levels without any repercussions, without any negative outcomes. But this, however, is truly false because anything has a negative outcome, and this negative outcome comes through human disenhancement. And to reference Lloyd, human disenhancement is basically people are forced to be less skilled, to degrade their skills so that to adapt to their new environment. So basically, we will be less inclined to do more skillful things. We won't be thinking as deeply as or enhanced that we used to before because of the implementation of AI. And we get into my reflection piece, and so I decided to do an infographic to show someone who is not really well versed in AI, is to introduce them to my argument. And so it introduced them to what is artificial intelligence, and then it basically highlights my own claims. So how will it impact us? It teaches them about the benefits and its downsides, and then after that downside, it explains like the solutions that I presented. And so that's the basic income, and that is the shift on traditional educational practices. That's basically like reinstitutionalizing our educational system so that people are able to educate themselves to be better prepared for the future. So finally, here we're at the last slide. So why do I care, and why, more importantly, should you care? So first, I care because AI technology is the future of humanity. It will obviously help people, but there will be negative consequences that we need to prepare for so that we can mitigate it, and so that more people aren't hurt by the technology, and so more people actually benefit from it. And so by knowing these, you'll be more educated and will be more prepared for the future, for this new AI revolution. So please have a nice day, and next is my works cited page.